Happy Saturday, everybody. This is Charles with Adams Adventures in SSL, and today I was really wanting to talk about something that a lot of us have come to the same realization on, us being able to raise our own food and our own livestock and vegetables and all that other. And who has been the most influential to us as we began this journey again? I give 75% of my knowledge to my grandmother. Like I've said before, she grew up as a sharecropper's daughter in Kemp, Oklahoma. And my grandfather, his family, they owned a section of land on the Texas side there at Carpenter's Bluff. And they had to raise their own food and animals just to keep them going. And I had a great uncle that was a commercial fisherman on the Red River. And this was after he had got through with his day's work on the farm. And that's how our families got along back then. Well, now, since we're in the so-called industrial age, and the grandparents lost the farms during the Depression and had to move into town, grandmother always had a nice garden out there, and we snap peas or snap beans and whole peas and harvest our corn, and we'd have to shuck it and freeze it. And I always did that, helped with that as a child. And as I grew up, you know, we got our jobs, got busy with our lives, and lived in town where we really didn't have room to do anything, but we were so busy running our businesses that was the farthest thing from our mind. Well, now that I've reached the age to where I'm semi-retired, got more time on my hands, and as you get older, you become more aware of everything that's in our food, all the additives and preservatives and everything, and the health problems that it can cause to you and your family. So we try to go organic. But who was the biggest influencer on YouTube? Well, I've got to admit that Daniel Arms with Arms Family Homestead is the one that introduced me to the Premier One electrical fencing that I have here that the chickens are in. He had deer getting into his garden, and he lives near Sulphur, Oklahoma. And so he got the Premier One and put it up, and it has kept the deer out of his gardens to where that he has an abundant harvest to provide for his family. And I thought, well, now that's pretty cool. And then back several years ago, I started watching Justin Rhodes on the Great American Farm Tour. And Justin has reiterated a lot of what my grandmother had told and showed me as a child. And he's brought this information to a whole new generation of people that really had no clue on how to proceed. And on the Great American Farm Tool, the one that really stuck with me was when he went to the Return to Eden. I'm sorry, I think his name was Paul. He was a Vietnam veteran, and Agent Orange had destroyed the nerves, and he had extreme difficulty walking. And that really stuck with me, that he didn't let anything slow him down. And I began his and Joel Salton's program of wood chips, and I got started and didn't get near enough this year, so this winter, once everything dies off, I plan on covering the whole place with as much wood chips as I can get. And like I said, with Justin's program, they taught us how rotational grazing And like I said, we just have chickens right now. The neighbors you see just got a new sheep. Little things over here just crying for attention. But we've been moving the chickens about every 3 days to 4, depending on what it is, and the area that they're in and how much we need cleared out. And we're now beginning to need to learn how to can and put up our stuff. I was too young, and I really wasn't allowed to be in there canning. I was lucky enough to get to, like I said, snap the peas and everything, and then grandmother and mom and the neighbor the ladies would get together and they'd get their pressure cookers and they'd go to town. Of course, I got to enjoy all the good food that grandma put up. But I was just wondering out there with everybody, who was your biggest influence to get you started raising your own food again? It's going to be a quick video today. This is just really had my curiosity up, if you would, on who was the biggest influencers in your journey to self-sustainability. If you would, leave it in the comments and let me know so that I can check out their YouTube channels and see what their content is and see what we can learn, because the way I see it, we're all in this together. I feel like I've let my kids down because I was blessed enough to grow up like this, to where, like I said, it's no big deal. I can go run a trot line and fill the freezer up. I can raise chickens and fill the freezer up. This year, way the weather's been, and me late starting the garden, I've been able to get tomatoes and peppers and zucchini squash and crookneck squash that's gone pretty good. I had a complete failure with the cabbage, the Brussels sprouts and the broccoli. They bolted on me because here in Texas it just got too hot too quick. Anyway, let me know your stories. I'd really be interested in hearing it. So y'all have a wonderful Saturday evening, good Sunday morning, good Lord willing, y'all make it to church. It's Charles. We're out.